Hi, welcome back. I appreciate you coming over for another visit and checking out this Care Collab video. Idea of a Care Collab video is several of us get together to talk about a particular orchid, or in this case, a particular genus of orchids, and go over how we care for them in our environment. And you might find some tips and tricks that will work in your environment. There are several channels participating today, so I will put them on the screen as well as a link to their videos in the description below. So be sure to go check out everyone's video, because as we all are mostly growing in different environments, even different hemispheres, maybe you can pick up some ideas or tips and tricks that will help you grow your Vanda. So currently my Vanda, which is a Vanda Pearl Cooper that I got from Brookside Orchids back in February of 2021, is living here on the bottom of my grow shelf under a Barina light. Last growing season, she did grow on my front porch. This year, I do plan on putting her back outside. However, I'm going to put her in a different location where she gets a little bit more sun, and I'm hoping that will help encourage a spike. So let me get her out of here, get her set up somewhere where we can look at her a little closer, and we'll go over what I do for her. Be right. All right, so mine is the Vanda Pearl Cooper, which is a Fuchs Sunrise crossed with Fuchs Gold. If you Google Vanda Pearl Cooper, you are likely to also have a Vanda Costylis Pearl Cooper pull up, and the flowers on it are more of a yellow. They're still clustered. This one here is supposed to be a bright orange with pink tinge in it. Again, the flowers are going to be clustered. If I can find a picture that is not copyrighted, I will put it on the screen so you can see. Now, as far as her size, she is what is known as a compact Vanda, meaning she's going to get rather tall, but her leaf span is not going to be very large. I did see one on the internet that the leaf span was just at a foot, but it was a more mature Vanda. It was also almost to the ceiling. Now, I do grow mine in a pot. You can grow it bare root, you can grow it in a vase, you can grow it however you like. I grow mine in a pot because I don't have time to water every day here in my living room, which is rather dry. The average humidity is anywhere from 30 to 50%. I do have a humidifier that I've used occasionally. I have not really used it this year too much. The way that I've kind of given her a little extra humidity is the tray down here is got pebbles on it, and the pot sits on it. It's not locked into it. And I leave just enough water where it's not touching the bark, but there's enough water where it's evaporating to kind of give her a little extra humidity just around herself. In addition, I do spray my aerial root at least every other day. I try to do it every day, but minimum every other day. When she was growing outside on the front porch last season, I had her in a large bark perlite and moss mix. I was watering her like every 2 to 3 days, and then when it got hotter, I was watering her every day, but I think that the moss was still staying too wet on the inside, even though she felt dry and looked dry, because when I brought her in, fearing there might be some bug gurus in there, I repotted her back into the same orchid top pot, but it only has bark and perlite and charcoal in there. And once I did that, let me just zoom in. She has, see those roots right there? So I watered her yesterday, and some of the roots are still showing a little green. There was one, but I do allow her to completely dry out. And right now, she is getting watered roughly every 3 days. What I do is I just pour the water through her with fertilizer. The way I fertilize her, because she is in active growth, not only is she growing roots, but she is currently, if we can get in there, growing a new leaf right there. I am currently fertilizing her at about 200 parts per million with MSU fertilizer. And then she does get a CalMag drink once a month. And when I do the CalMag, I actually soak her for about 30 minutes. So of course, then I won't water her again, probably for about a week, just because that bark has absorbed quite a bit of the moisture as well. And then I will give her a good flush, and then do the MSU, the CalMag flush, and so forth. What else can we talk about? We talked about temperature. Oh, light. So Vandas do prefer high light. A lot of them can take full sun. Of course, you want to ease them into that. So this year, when I put her back out, I am going to put her on a fence line that does get bright light all day, as well as lots of sun towards mid-afternoon to, of course, when it goes down, it'll be on the west side of the house. I'm going to try her there because on the porch, she got the good morning sun until the trees, let's see if I can do this without glaring you. Those trees right there, when they are leafless, I get lots and lots and lots of sun on my front porch over here. But once those leaves come in, she only was getting maybe an hour of sun, and then the rest of the day she was kind of in bright shade. So I want her to get more sun. I want to try to help induce some blooms this year. Like I said, near blooming size means she could bloom this year or she can bloom in 5 years. That is another reason why I put her down here on the Barina shelf as well, to continue giving her that bright light. And the tray that you see down there, that I also will put some water in to help, again, with just added humidity for the plants that are down there. All right, and then that little blanket right there, that's Loki's little blanket. I don't know why it's on the floor, but in any event, back to the Vanda. So other than that, I've only had her like a little over a year, but I'm rather pleased with her growth. I think she's doing rather well. She doesn't look like she has any kind of deficiencies at the moment. And I am really proud of the fact that the roots, when they grew out of these two bottom leaves, did not damage the root to the point where it absorbed itself. Because I have noticed that with some of my phals and some of my other orchids, that if the root pushes through, sometimes it'll damage that leaf enough where it ends up absorbing itself because it's too damaged. But other than that, I really don't have much else because, like, I've only had her for a year. And hopefully this year, like I said, outside with more light, and hopefully the grasshoppers don't get to her. That's what that is right there. It's grasshopper damage. So leave in the comments down below if you have a Vanda, how you grow your Vanda, and be sure and go check out everyone else's videos. And we'll see you on the next one.